Good morning, children. This is for all students of Delhi Public School, Arkipuram. This video is to familiarize you with the new OMR sheet given by CBSE and help you understand how to fill it. This is the OMR you will be getting for your CBSE board examination. For all school examinations that you would be giving now, you will be using the same OMR. Before we move to the OMR, there are certain important points that you must know. The first thing that we are going to talk about is the reading time. So, your reading time is from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., which means you are given 20 minutes to read the question paper thoroughly. You have to reach the examination center between 9:45 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Please ensure that you reach the examination center well on time so that there is no last minute panic. This 20-minute reading time is very crucial for you to decide which questions you will not attempt. From 11:30 to 1 p.m., you have your 90-minute exam time. As far as your roll numbers are concerned, you will be receiving them soon. Though you need not worry about writing them down anywhere in the OMR, since this data will be pre-filled in the sheet that will be given to you for the exam. However, you must cross-check the pre-filled information with your roll number and any discrepancy must be notified to the invigilator. Now, two very important points. You have to use a blue or a black ballpoint pen only for your examination. Do not use a gel pen. So when you buy a good quality pen जिसकी tip थोड़ी सी thick हो so that it's easier to shade the circle. But don't buy something too thick or else the ink might bleed or leave spots everywhere. Right? Lastly, use of the pencil is prohibited and there might be strict action if pencil is used. So only use a blue or a black ballpoint pen. Okay, so the first thing you note in this OMR sheet is that only blue and black ballpoint pen is to be used. So आप प्लीज एक अच्छा सा ब्लू या ब्लैक बॉलपॉइंट पेन ही अपने साथ खरीद के रखें. Now, the first thing that you will be noting or marking here is the class. So if you are from class 12th, you will mark class 12th. If you are giving the class 10th examination, then you will mark the class 10th option. Okay. After this is the space for your roll number. This is the space for your roll number in words. Here, the day and the date of the examination will be written. Your center number and name is going to be here. The subject code and the subject name will be written here. Your name will be written here. Your father's name would be mentioned here. And the school code and school name will be mentioned here. So now all of this data is going to be pre-filled in the board OMR sheet that you will be getting. ये already printed होगा, which means आपको सिर्फ इसको अपने credentials के साथ cross check करने की ज़रूरत है. यहाँ पे आपको कुछ भी fill नहीं करना है. So what you are going to fill now after this is the question paper code. तो आपके क्वेश्चन पेपर पे एक कोड लिखा होता है. You are just going to copy this here. Let's say hypothetically your question paper code is DL3S4. So you are going to write just that here. Okay. Once you are done with this, you will move down to this portion now. Right. So what you are going to do here now is you are simply going to now write the same thing. I confirm that all particulars given above are correct. You will fill this and you are going to sign here. Okay. So this is what you need to fill. This is the only thing जो आप लिख रहे हो. तो आप इस चीज को, इस स्टेटमेंट को एज इट इज यहाँ पे लिखोगे और उसके बाद आप अपना सिग्नेचर डालोगे. दैट इज ऑल. इसके नीचे दिस इंटायर पोर्शन यू डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग. This is all going to be taken care by the coordinators and evaluators. That is not for you to check. And now we move to the most important part, that is how to fill the responses, right? So you can see there is space from question number 1 to question number 60, right? So this column is for question number 1 to question number 15. This column from question number 16 to question number 30. This from question number 31 to question number 45. This from question number 46 to question number 60. Okay. You would see there is space for 60 questions in this OMR sheet. Some sample question papers, for example, French and German, had more than 60 questions. But now these question papers have been reduced to 60 only. So your question paper will only have 60 questions. Right? Now, coming to how to fill this. First thing you should do is, there are sections in your paper. So you must mark the section so that you make no error in how many questions you are leaving per section. So let's say there are 24 questions in the first section. So you make a note here. And then in the second section, you again have 24 questions. So you make a note here. And this is the last part. How this is going to help you is, you will be able to decide how many questions you have left per section. Some question papers might have only 55 questions. So what you can do there is, you make a mark here. Which means question number 56, 57, 58, 59 and 60 में आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. Your last question is 55. तो नीचे के 5 इन blank spaces पे आपको कोई stray mark नहीं करना है. ओके तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर मेरा यहाँ पे लेट्स से एक क्वेश्चन गलत हो गया तो मैं यहाँ का क्वेश्चन नंबर कट करके वो क्वेश्चन लिख के वो आंसर यहाँ पे मार्क कर दूँ. That will not be evaluated. You are going to leave these 5 spaces blank without any mark on them. Okay, so now we come to the method of marking responses. As I've already told, only blue and black ballpoint is to be used for filling the OMR sheet and also to darken the circle. So now let's say in the first section there are 24 questions and I have to attempt any 20. So if I'm 100% sure of the 4 questions that I don't want to attempt, I am going to simply mark this column here. So under the hashtag, now you see there are 3 categories. There is response, there is star, and there is a hash. The hash one, if you darken that, which means the question is not attempted. So if I'm 100% sure that there are 4 questions that I don't want to do, so I'm just going to mark that. So this is a question I don't want to do. This is another question I don't want to do. There is this question I don't want to do. And there is, let's say, this question I don't want to do. But you will do this only if you're 100% sure of which questions you don't want to attempt, right? Now coming to answering, let's say for the first question, I think that the answer is C. So I'm going to darken C. Use a good quality pen and shade the entire thing. Do not do half-hearted. So look at the wrong methods that are given. ना ही आप tick और cross करेंगे, ना ही आप ऐसे half fill करके छोड़ेंगे. You are going to completely fill the circle that you think is the answer. Now let's say for the second question, I think D is the answer. And similarly for third, I think B is the answer. So you darken it there and then. Don't leave for the end कि end में जाके सारे questions को mark करेंगे, because then you will start panicking and you might not darken it properly. So do it while you are reading the question. You keep marking the answer. Okay. Now let's say You have answered 5 questions. So you've answered this and you've answered this. Now, this 5th question will not be evaluated because you have already marked the hashtag wala response that this question is not attempted, which means this question is not going to be evaluated. The examiner is going to look at this and not going to evaluate it. Okay. So then you then mark the other question. Now let's say you are going to revise. Okay. And you go to the first question and you think that the answer is wrong, the answer should have been B. So what you are going to do, and this is a very good provision, you are simply going to write B here. Out of these two, the priority is going to be given to what is written under this star. Okay. And don't leave this blank. Okay, you have to fill this and you write this only when you are 100% sure. Okay, out of the response and the star, the priority is going to be given to the star that is there. Okay, which is why you will fill it only when you are 100% sure. Now let's say in the second question you think D is the answer, so you write D here. Then you come to the third question, you think A is the answer. So you write A here. But after that, now you think that maybe C is the right answer. So do not cut, don't do unnecessary cutting and overwriting because उसके लिए आपको कोई marks नहीं मिलेंगे. Simply make this a question that is not attempted. That is going to be better for you. So you have to fill it very carefully. You cannot make mistakes. You can't fill it casually. And similarly, all the questions have to be filled and thereafter the response is to be written. Like I have told you and I'm going to emphasize it again, this star is given the priority over the response, which does not mean कि आप response blank छोड़ सकते हैं. अगर आपने यहाँ पे let's say सिर्फ option लिखा D, पर आपने कुछ नहीं mark किया, then also this is an incomplete answer. You have to mark this. But yes, the only good thing is कि by chance if B is marked in one of the question and the answer written is A, and if A is the correct answer, then you will be given marks for A. ठीक है? I hope this much is clear. So I'm moving to section C. Let's say there are 7 questions, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54 and 55. And I have to attempt any 5. But मुझे सबके आंसर आते हैं. तो I fill this also, I fill this also, I'm filling this also, I'm filling this also, this, and this. And I've also written down the options. So for me, this section is going to be complete. But we had to do only 5 questions. So the last 2 questions are not going to be evaluated. And thus, here what you can then do is you mark them as not attempted. If you attempt all questions, then only the first required number of questions would be evaluated. After that, even if the answer is correct, you will not be given marks for that. So please keep that in mind. So these are just a few things that you have to keep in mind while you are filling your OMR. Remember one thing, that the star is given priority over the response, but you have to still fill the response also and also mark the answer here. In any case, if the answer marked here is different and the answer written here is different, then whatever is written here will be given the priority and will be given the marks. Do not leave the marking for the end, because in that case you might end up messing up the marking or the shading. So it is better to do the questions while you are reading the question. Another very important thing, let's say if you think that you need to do some rough work, you will not do any rough work in the OMR sheet. You will be provided a separate sheet by your invigilator and you are going to do every rough work there, and thereafter you will fill the answer. Okay, so while you're filling the OMR, you will initially darken the circles, and after that, once you're sure of the answer, you will write down the option in the box that is marked by the star, whether the answer is A, B, C or D. So I hope this is clear and this was helpful. All the best for your examination. Please practice doing this OMR so that on the day of your board exam, you don't end up making any mistake. Thank you.